I will give you the city. Thank you. Wanted to have. You had on the. I will give you.
Dr. Ahmed, can you hear me? Hello?
Like a discussion paper at a conference. And they disappointed.
Doctor, can we start the session?
Hold on a few seconds because some participants didn't arrive, and then some of them are having some refreshment first.
Okay. Because we have the, the time, reporting time is 9 a.m.
I give them 5 minutes. We receive one only. Oh, okay.
probably 20, more than that. I'm a professor in, that's why I'm surprised, because I attended, even in Malaysia 8 years ago, in hotels here and there. It feels like a, discussion session, should be parallel sessions, so we could use it.
It's very simple, huh?
And if it was my first one, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, being simple, it doesn't matter, it's fine, but they should have informed us. Maybe you are from Malaysia, right? I came from another country, that's fine. But we call it experience. We should get
Yes.
it.
You want to make this one? Yeah. Oh, in the email.
For what?
Oh, this one. I see.
Can I have?
Oh, this one, huh? You do. You do.
Dr. Shakir, I will request you to share your slides and you can start your keynote speech.
Okay, wait. Please a moment. Let me check my Zoom. I don't know what's the problem. Okay. So can you please fix the camera and for the online participant that they can also see the room? Make it like in a position. Yeah, that's, I think, good. So we can only see 2 participants. Good. But anyway, let's start the session. And first of all, I welcome all to the IIRP International Conference. which is organized by International Institute of Academic Research and Publication in association with Globento Conference. It is a hybrid event, both in person and online. Participants will also participate in this session. I'm Dr. Shakir, the coordinator, and as well as the session for the online, a session chair for the online session. And I hope that all the participants already got the program schedule and other instructions for this session. It is to be noted that for each presentation, there will be 10 minutes and extra 5 minutes will be given to each participants for question and answer. And yes, I want to mention, especially for those who already sent their pre-recorded video presentation, they don't need to uh, uh, present it again here on Zoom. And but if their institutes require them to present it, they can still come to present it on Zoom. And I welcome Dr. Mushtaq Ahmed from Unity University, Malaysia, as a session chair and coordinator in the in-person room for the in-person session. He will be chairing the in-person session and I will chair the online session. We will assess every presentation and based on that assessment, the best paper, best presenter will get an award in the form of certificate. The assessment criteria is quite simple, very clear. It includes the best contents from the paper, presentation skills, the time management skills, and how you attract the other audiences and how you provide your suggestion and you ask questions from other participants. So first, the in-person participant will be invited to present their paper, and after that, we will call the online participant to come online and present their paper. So I hope you will enjoy this session with us, and we need to start it because we are already a bit late. But before that, I think it's very important to introduce you to the organization who organized this session. And I will share my PPT. Let me check. Yeah, it's here. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, so this is IIARP. IIARP is a dynamic conglomeration of academia and professional, which is dedicated to promote research, innovation, making a significant global impact. And our primary objective is to unite researchers, professionals from around the world, fostering an intellectual development and facilitating opportunities for networking and collaboration. This organization is actively engaged in different academic activities, including networking events, meetings, conferences, workshops, and other research projects. Additionally, we are committed to publish a cutting-edge research publication and recognizing outstanding achievement through academic awards and scholarships. These are some of the associates, Globento conference in Conference LS 360 and manuscript edited by IIARP. So basically what we do, we are involved in world-class networking, connect with the global community of researchers, scholars, and industry experts. And we are organizing national and international conferences where you can participate in cutting edge discussion and present your work on a global stage. And we are also facilitating journal publication. You can share your findings with the world through esteemed international peer-reviewed journals as well as impact factor journals indexed in different databases. So IARP is a well-known organization dedicated to fostering global scientific and academic collaboration with a rich history of organizing national and international conferences. IARP has made a significant contribution to different fields of study, and our extensive network spans across numerous countries, including South Asian countries, Egypt, uh, Mid East Asian countries, and you can see many other different countries around the world. So IIARP provide opportunities to the participants. They can publish in different forms. You can publish your abstract in the abstract proceeding book with the DOI number. You can publish your manuscript in a peer-reviewed journal, and those journals are indexed by well-known databases such as Google Scholar, Doge, and many other good databases such as Scopus and WOS, Web of Science index journals. We already have good examples of publication in these journals. And we also offer this IIARP offer a comprehensive academic publishing support, including manuscript editing, evaluation, uh, pre-submission review comments, journal submission, response to the reviewers, and resubmission and other things required by any manuscript before submission and including submission. Yeah. So here are some of the things you need to keep in mind before submitting your work. And later, if you are really very serious to publish your paper, our team or publication, dedicated publication team will guide you step by step how to prepare, what to prepare before submitting your manuscript. So these things I will not discuss in detail. If you are serious about publication, you can come later. I will share the contact information of our team, and they will guide you step by step regarding publication and the requirements for submitting your manuscript to any peer-reviewed journal. These are some of the examples we published for the participant from the previous conferences in Scopus Q1, Web of Science, and very good impact factor journals as well. These are some of the glimpses from the previous conferences, online conferences. You can visit our website www.iiarp.org to explore more. And one thing very important I need to mention in that to be environmental friendly, we will provide the certificate, the co-author certificate, not the first author certificates, in the soft form, and your the abstract proceeding books will also be provided in soft form through your email. So after the conference, you can check your email and you will get all these documents in soft copies. Yeah. Thank you. That's all from my side. And now I will invite the in-person session chair, Dr. Ahmed, to start the session.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shakir, for such a guide, for such explanation, the guidelines, and as well as the paperless theory. Now we would like to proceed our session, requesting our first presenter and Dr. Hadi, and he will be presenting the paper title Beyond Assessment. Please, Doctor.
Can I use your computer?
Yes, sure, please. Here, let me share also online. Please, doctor.
Can you please also share your PPT on this screen
Can
from
you
the
s- can
computer
you
where
see?
you are connected? Hmm?
Yeah, we have connected.
Okay, good morning, everybody, those in person and online. My name is Dr. Hadi. I'm from Sohar University in Oman. I'm Associate Professor of Applied Linguistics. My study is also a linguistic study. Okay. So I think it's under social sciences because it's very vibrant, the journal. So my study is to look at peer review reports, something very related to what the conference holder just discussed about how to publish papers and all that. Many studies have conducted how research papers, research articles have been done, or the structure of a research article in social sciences, in physical sciences. What are the differences between disciplines, hard and soft
Sorry for
disciplines?
can you please share your PPT on the screen where you are connected with on the computer?
Sorry. Click share in the Zoom.
We share it with them and then,
I think it's already shared, right?
yeah.
It's not shared. We can't see it.
It's already shared.
Share.
Yeah, it is.
It's already on the screen.
Is it the way
No,
to-
I mean here on the computer.
Now,
Here you can click on the share screen button here on the Zoom.
See again.
yeah, right.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Doctor is shared with us. It's already shared with other participants as well. They can see.
I don't know why I can't
See it
see it. Other online participant, can you please tell us whether you can see the screen the PPT
Yes.
slides?
Yes,
They
we
can
can.
see.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, then maybe it's a problem here in my
And then-
side. Anyway, please continue. Okay, thank you.
We requesting the other participants to please mute because the voice is,
Echoing.
yeah, the
we
voice is
have the
echoing.
echo. Yeah, if you please put this,
See where?
just mute your microphone if it's possible, because I
Just
can
mute
hear
yourself.
myself.
Okay.
Okay, so I was saying the purpose of the study is on peer review reports. So as I said, most of the studies have been done on research articles themselves, not the way that reviewers and authors interact with each other. So in this study, I was actually looking at how reviewers of journals interact and engage with authors through engagement strategies. This is an applied linguistic study to see what are the ups and downs of peer review reports, how reviewers engage and use a stance to interact with the authors, especially in double-blind peer reviews where the identity of both authors and reviewers are kept hidden, anonymous. So it was very interesting to see how authors and especially reviewers interact and engage with their authors through some of the linguistic studies and linguistic analysis. So I just talked about the background of this study. This is a kind of genre, we call it evaluative genre, between authors and reviewers. So the study is going to look at how author engagement strategies are conducted between review reports and things like that. So this is a very important contribution because it contributes significantly to the author-reviewer relationship, and see how this evaluative genre is constructed by reviewers, especially for non-native and novice researchers who are at earlier stages of their academic career, to see if they want to publish a paper, if they want to send out a paper to journals, what are the expectations of reviewers of them, okay? How the peer review report is constructed and how they should respond to the peer review. Of course, it will be very interesting for them to see and to write effective responses to the reviewers' reports. So engagement in general has received a lot of attention in academic discourse, in academia, especially in writing and speech. And by academic writing, I mean research articles. By academic speech, I mean university lectures in academic. This engagement has long received a great attention, and the fundamental part is the persuasion here. If you write persuasively or you speak persuasively through this engagement markers. So the literature has touched on many areas here, as I said, especially some studies have looked at the role of reviewers in the publication success. For example, Becher and Hadi, they found that 80% of the reviewer and author interaction was among this use of this engagement strategies. And they look at meta-functional, something beyond functional or meaningful relationship and classification of language. For example, Godson and Halliday look at how native and non-native speaker researchers interacted with the reviewers and finding communicative deficiencies. They found that communication in language deficiencies and interpersonal function were among the top problems that reviewers found in non-native speakers, authors. So in double-blind settings where the personal biases are minimized, when we don't know the identity of the reviewer and reviewers do not know the identity of authors. So we don't have any personal biases. For example, if I don't know my author when I'm reviewing for, it decreases the bias that I have. Maybe the author is from my nationality or from my institution and so on and so forth. So analyzing these linguistic devices, I mean engagement devices, plays a very significant role to see how this relationship between authors and reviewers are constructed, which is the main objective of this study. So the gap in literature is that existing studies have looked at the structural part of reviews. For example, they said review reports have normally start with the opening section. The reviewer always starts with a positive point. In this, it was a very interesting study, for example. It started like this: thanks to authors for this brilliant study. And then they move to the negative points, the structural part of this study. Some studies have also looked at disciplinary differences. They found that reviews in physical sciences like chemistry, like physics, they use more boosting elements when they review the papers. For example, they said it must be, definitely it should be changed. But the reviews in my field, which is arts and humanities and social sciences, they use more hedging devices, softening language to say, this needs to be changed. This can be changed. This may be changed. Things like that. Okay, so this is the purpose of my study, exploring how reviewers employ engagement resources to address authors, to guide authors, to steer the revision and help them understand the interpersonal relationship in their meeting. Okay, so these are my research questions. What types of engagement strategies do reviewers use to address and guide authors during the peer review? This is the quantitative part. The qualitative part dealt with how and why reviewers use them. How do these strategies are pragmatically constructed and used to manage evaluation and interaction? In the analytical framework, I look at Hyland's interpersonal meta-discourse function. It has 5 elements of engagement. The first one is using directives, which is by direct or indirect ways, For example, reviewers might say imperatives like rephrase this sentence, please refer to this section. Or obligation moods like you must, using obligation. Or using some predicative adjectives like it is necessary to, it is essential to, and then they make their comments. The next one is through questions, like not just Pierre questions, sometimes rhetorical questions, like they don't seek answer by saying that, is it this one? It means I want you to change it. So through questions, reviewers pull authors into their discourse, into the language, and they draw their attention. Like, is there a way that the author rephrase this? Is there a way that you can change this sentence? I'm not asking you a question. The reviewer is requesting a change in your study. The third one is through reader pronouns, like the specific use of you or your study. You must do that. Okay. The reader pronoun is the pronoun that we use to interact with the reviewer. So especially in the use of second person pronoun, like you and your study. Next one is appeal to shared knowledge. Sometimes reviewers use some shared knowledge to engage with the reviewers. You're saying, as you know, as we know, and then I say something relating to the discipline so that I encourage the author to be involved in my study. And personal aside, sometimes they make a short pause to attract the writer's attention by saying, by the way, in meanwhile, or stuff like that. These are the sections. So I analyzed 268 peer reviews in applied linguistics submitted to 52 international journals. And the result that I will show you is from all these 268 journals. And I looked at peer reviews which suggested acceptance, major revisions, minor revisions, and direct rejections, all the 4 categories of this one. So these are the corpus that I use. You can see accept, minor, major, the number of journals, the word count, and mean length. So since we don't have time, I'm not going to go through it. So this is the data. In applied linguistics, we call it corpus. It's a body of data that we use. So I use both quantitative, qualitative. Quantitative dealt with frequency and normalization of the use to see how many of these markers are used more and less, which is the most frequent, the least frequent. The qualitative part deal with how they were used. And I manually examined all these peer reviews, and I color coded them, numbered them, and I enumerated the frequency of each items. So my coding procedure was marker and functional interpretation. And then I asked another rater for inter-rater reliability to help me with checking the markers. And we reached an agreement of 94% using Cohen-Kappas, which is a established way of having intercoded reliability, especially in our field. So this is the finding of the study. This is the frequency part. So we found that directives were the most frequent engagement marker used in all the review categories except minor, majors. And this is the normalization per 1,000 words. And it was followed by reader pronouns. And as you can see, question appeals to shared knowledge did not use in accept recommendations, but they were used in other categories. Now I'm going to show you some authentic examples from the corpus by the use of each of them. So directives were used to direct and guide the reviewers, the authors, I mean. Look at the examples. Reconsider the phrasing of this sentence. Perhaps the author can. So this is like the examples from major and minor reviews where directives were used. And then the use of reader pronouns, like say your manuscript, you need to clarify. And they use personalized feedback. By using you and your, reviewers try to make the feedback look like something personalized. I'm addressing your name or you as an author. It means the responsibility is on your shoulder to make the change to your text. Questions, they were mostly rhetorical questions. It means the reviewers did not ask any question by saying that, do you mean this one? It means I want you to do it. Do you mean to detect instead of to discover? And sometimes they seek response. They're saying that, could you please explain the rationale for choosing this method? And the reviewer asks the author to provide the answer in their response letter. Appeals to shared knowledge. Look at the example. As you are aware, as we know, these examples are used to share the knowledge. It's like I am involving the author to make that something shared knowledge between us. And the use of personal asides. Look at the example. It said the concept of discourse organizer and the one in bold. I think it is used by Biber and his colleagues. He make a pause and add a new information just to attract the writer's attention. Or the other one, the prefabricated nature of political discourse. And they say, by the way, language is prefabricated to quite all extent in sets of context. The reviewer used a shared knowledge and personal asides to help the author. Okay, and the discussion part, I would say, in line with previous studies in academic discourse in general, this peer review interaction is like a hidden genre. Swales call it occluded genre. It means it is hidden.
Sorry for
the-
interruption. For
Yeah.
3 more minutes, so please conclude it. Thank you.
Yes, I think the time is over, right? Just
You can
Okay.
go further.
So yeah, that's the discussion part. So for the conclusion, I would say the significance of this study lies in the fact that we can help novice and non-native researchers, especially those who are at early stages of their academic career. If we shed light on how peer review is constructed, we can help them to write effective responses to them. So pedagogically and academically, these are the implications of this study, even for editors, for authors, for English for academic purpose, English for research purposes, practitioners, even they can come up with some materials, develop some syllabus and materials to help authors write effective responses to the reviewers' responses. That's all from me. If you have questions are welcome.
Thank you very much for a very nice presentation, very interesting presentation. Especially this presentation is very helpful for me as well. I'm an editor and a reviewer to some of the journals.
Yeah,
And it's very interesting.
yeah.
So the same logic we also applied in the thesis review process as well.
Exactly, to some extent, but the difference is that the thesis review is like an open review. Normally, examiner and supervisor and students know their names, right? The identity. But peer review is like double blind in most of the
I mean
cases.
the examiners.
Yeah, the examiners.
Usually examiners, they
Yeah.
don't know the names.
Exactly. Of
So
course,
it's not
yes.
anonymous.
Yeah, exactly.
So there is no anonymity.
Exactly. Yeah, even examiners, but that one counts if the examination is like oral, maybe after this. No, normally examiners after this, some of them attend the PhD supervision. It happened to me. I did my PhD here 8 years ago, and my examiner attended. He looked at my draft, but upon the defense session, she came to the defense session and asked me some questions. But on the draft, yes, exactly. When they don't know, it's all anonymous. It also applies to
So
the
based
examination.
on your experience and reviewing all 268 peer review, so what is your recommendations to the reviewers?
Yeah, of course, the recommendations is just to consider that for some authors are novice and their early stages. We should not be harsh on them. That's first point. But it doesn't mean that we should forget about the standards of the journals, right? So the language, the discourse is very important. It should be all persuasive. It's a way difference between being harsh, because there are some harsh reviews, and this is my plan as part of this study to look at some, and there is a website online who post all the review reports which are harsh, just to help authors to see reviewers can be harsh and hard on your work. But being persuasive is all good. Now, what is the purpose of peer review is to ask for enhancement. So if we are persuasive in our language, of course, it can help
Like
Right.
sorry to cut, like
Yeah.
for me, as a reviewer, I would go for two very important things. We mostly identify the red flags in the paper now. Like being as a reviewer, I go to the technical side.
Yeah.
So what the authors are trying to attempt, either they are using a copy paste, but not use a logical way. Okay, they are just keep simply coming and cooking their data. So we have to see the technical part, whether there've been a red flags or not.
Exactly.
So if there is a red flags, so being as a reviewer, it make me aggressively angry on them. And
Exactly.
rather than, as you said, being a persuasive, we will go more harsh.
I was talking about the academic part
And
where I need to comment on the language, right? For example, I feel the apply. I want to see whether the theory is applied. I shouldn't be harsh on them. I don't know the background. Maybe this is the PhD, even MA student submitting a paper. So that is exactly the purpose of this study. We don't know the background of authors. Maybe an MA student is submitting a paper to even a Q1 paper. But red flag, of course, yes. But what is the red flag nowadays with the use of AI? I can understand whether submitting, right? A submitting
night I was-
paper.
Last night I was reviewing a paper. Now the student wanted to attempt to use the smart PLS measurement flow. So he just simply draw with the hand. Rather than
Exactly.
using a smart
Exactly.
PLS software where you have to insert all the data
Yeah.
and come up with the results, he's
That's
just drawing with the hands, I mean manually handling. So how the author can use the smart PLS measurement with
Exactly.
by just drawing?
Exactly.
That's totally like a red flag. It's totally wrong.
Yeah. And even journals have their own guidelines, actually.
Any other
Yeah.
questions
Yeah.
from the audience, please? It's very helpful for as being as a reviewer.
Yeah, exactly.
Dr. Shakir, any question from the virtual? Is there any question from the audience? Thank you very much,
Thank
Doctor,
you.
for a very interesting presentation.
Thank you very much.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
And now I would be requesting to the presenter, name is Zaiwen. Antitrust regulation, he will be presenting the second paper.
Paper ID 285. Am I right?
Yeah, hold on a sec. We are sharing the paper. Share. Yes. Yeah, sir, please sit. It's a PDF.
Oh, so passing it.
Wait, suddenly. Okay, you can share from your computer. Yeah, you can simply start to do presentation from there, no problem. Because it's
All relax.
may I know the presentation slides is visible to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah. That's.
Okay. 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 Distinguished professors and dear fellows, good morning. My name is Zhang Ziwen, and I'm from Wuhan University, China. And I'm majoring in intellectual property and competition law. And my research interest is in the competition law. So this topic is also among my research interest is antitrust regulation of access and the use of personal information by multi-international services providers. And this arises from emerging tendency that the providers of multiple interrelated internet services, or are called MISPs, they like Meta and Google tend to share personal information they hold across services between the different services they provide, consolidating their dominant position in multiple markets. China also has two MISPs, so-called Tencent and Baidu, and they have even more dominated markets, causing controversial cases of referential value. So drawing on both domestic and international cases, it is evident that countries worldwide are facing the dilemma that there is no consensus on the compatibility of antitrust and personal information protection on such issue. So there is lack of a mature framework that could use both the competition regulation and personal information protection law, and such framework would be innovative in the world internet environment today. Therefore, for the protection of consumer rights and the welfare of the society generally, it is necessary to recognize the anti-competitive nature of the MISP's behaviors related to the personal information protection. Before that, we need to examine typical cases from EU, Germany, and China, clearly identifying the core issues of the MISPs as their proper access to personal information. And the Microsoft's it links personal data to the antitrust reviews. The European Commission focused on whether the merged entities' combined data advantages would create insurmountable barriers for competitors. So it approved the acquisition only with binding commitments requiring the Microsoft to grant rivals in the social networking access to its data resources. Notably, the Commission has framed the reduced data privacy protection as a form of competitive harm, thereby curbing the consumer choice in the privacy protection. In the Meta case, it's also starting in the 2016. Germany's Federal Cartel Office investigated Facebook for forcing the users to agree to the cross-platform data collection. It has integrated data from the WhatsApp, Instagram, and even third-party websites through the social plugins. It forced the users to have the take it or leave it user agreements. Facebook's market dominance in social networking, as we know, is very huge. So such position allowed it to strengthen its cross-market position through the data aggregation. And this behavior excludes the competitors. The 2023 EU court ruling confirmed that the domestic courts could use data protection standards to determine the abuse of market dominance. This solidifies the connection between the data practices and antitrust law. And turning to China, two domestic cases also review such situation. The first is the WeChat and the WeChat reading case. Tencent is the leading NISP MISP, transmitted the user's WeChat friend relationship data to WeChat reading. It's a book reading app. It is without adequate consent, automatically establishing follow relationships and sharing reading related information between the WeChat contacts. While the court ruled on personal information infringement from a civil law perspective, it ignored the antitrust dimension. So the Tencent leveraged its market domination in instant messaging to expand the influence in the reading service while the data transfer. And the Baidu case is also actually similar. It uses its domination in the search engine service and expands to the BBS service. So these cases collectively imply that the MISP's cross-service personal information access has become a tool to help them consolidate their cross-market dominance. And part of the world practice represented by China only addresses individual privacy violations, failing to tackle the underlying competitive harms, creating an urgent need for the antitrust intervention tailored to MISP state behaviors. And the personal information access and use behaviors of such MISPs differ fundamentally from those of the ordinary information processors in that they carry strong cross-market anti-competitive effects, which are mainly manifested in 3 areas. The first is the infringement of consumers' right to choice, because in the digital economy, the large-scale network service operators already hold solid market dominance, and there is no offsetting buyer power to limit them to exclude the competitors. So the dominant MISPs force consumers to accept the one-size-fits-all policy, and instead of letting them choose policies tailored to their need. So lead to the consumers completely lose their autonomy to decide how their personal data is used in different scenarios. And the second is the reduction of personal information protection. As the MISP state practices reduce the overall level of personal information protection, in a sense, there is competition among the operators in terms of the privacy protection. And the services with better privacy safeguards tend to attract more users. However, unlike the fragmented markets, concentrated markets dominated by a few MISPs leave consumers with limited option to choose their privacy protection. Therefore, the MISPs strengthen their concentration across multiple markets. The level of competition in personal information protection declines on a broader scale, even in the whole industry. And the third is the imitation and the restriction of the competition. Such behaviors of MISPs strengthen the data barriers and eliminate or restrict competition. As I mentioned before, the effect of the MISPs, they create a virtuous circle of data accumulation and user attraction that locks in the users. Moreover, the MISPs often erect data barriers by refusing the legitimate data users or other competitors to access the information. So this will ultimately exclude the competition in such area. And the anti-competitive harms caused by the MISPs improperly access to the personal information highlights the urgent need for the targeted regulation. And antitrust law is actually a well-positioned tool to address these issues due to the dual function of first is protection of consumer benefits, and second is the maintenance of free competition. As the antitrust law aligns with the consumer protection law, the core goal of protecting consumer benefits, a global consensus has been reached that safeguarding the consumer welfare is a fundamental objective of antitrust law. Modern antitrust practice has expanded its scope from the only market value to more diversified dimensions. In the digital era, consumer welfare encompasses not only economic interests, but also the right to independent choice in personal information protection. So the MISC's cross-market dominance deprives the consumers of the autonomy. Antitrust law can intervene in such non-price competitive behaviors, filling the gap left by the personal information protection laws, and that only focus on the individual rights rather than the market. And the antitrust law plays an irreplaceable role in maintaining the free competition. As we know, the MISP state practice cannot protect personal information in three ways. The antitrust law can replace it to protect information in three ways. First, it empowers the users to boycott such platforms with anti-competitive privacy violations. Second, it raises the public awareness of the value of personal data and the costs of inadequate protection. And third, it would encourage the development of more privacy-focused products and services and enable a very healthy circle to happen. And to address such anti-competitive risks of the MISPs, we should have a framework to establish antitrust regulation. The first is to identify the anti-competition. It could be implemented through three considerations. First, the anti-competition. First, is the market dominance. It could be served through the traditional approach of SSNDPP. It is called small but significant and non-transitory decrease in privacy protection. It is a test that examines the user switching behaviors when personal information protection levels drop by 5% to 10% and evaluates the harm by tracking the user attribution after the new privacy policies are implemented. And the second consideration is operators' intention to expand the dominance. It could be examined by first assess the welfare losses, and if price metrics are invalid, examine the restrictions on consumer choice, the reduced privacy protection equality, and elevated the competitor data costs. And the third is the anti-competitive effect. It is more of an objective standard that we could examine if the competitors lose interests in such anti-competitive practices. And the remedies could be implemented, and it should combine the restricting MISP data control and empowering the user data autonomy. Also, the legislation, administration, and judiciary practices should be combined together, like the antitrust authorities can order the enterprises to cease improper data practices, commit to a higher protection standards, also enabling the users to independently choose privacy-friendly services across the markets. Okay, thank you. And last is the regulation. We should call the integrated regulation. It demands the cross-agency collaboration and proactive prevention. The data protection law, consumer rights protection law, and antitrust law should form a comprehensive system. The privacy and consumer protection standards could be used to help the competitive harm assessments, avoiding the fragmented enforcement that weakens the enterprises, and the authorities need to balance the market competition and data protection, transforming the formal notice consent mechanism into a substantive
Sorry for
consent
interruption.
mechanism, which
Sorry,
safeguard for the
sorry.
user rights.
Hello?
And the last is to
Hello?
some very innovative regulations, like to set up the regulatory sandbox and control the applications in some competition area or in some industry. And this is my proposed framework to combine the antitrust law, and
Hello,
so
can you
far
hear
there are
me?
several
Am I audible?
approaches to regulate the access and use of the personal information. And if you are interested or have further questions, you can connect me or maybe put here. And so I also open for questions and advice. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. Thank you. Do we have any question for this presentation? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because listening to your presentation is more descriptive. So may I ask you that what is the nature of your study?
It is more of a study combined by the case study, analysis, and also the bibliography and analysis. It combines the cases, the rules, and some economic and law theories.
So your study is basically case study. So nature of your research is a case study, literature review, systematic literature review. What methodology do you have adopted to compile all these findings?
It is by maybe a traditional law interpretation and applications approach.
Because academically, your presentation is okay, has rich of information. But what as academicians or as a reviewers, we try to attempt to know what is the approach you have adopted in your study. If it's the systematic literature review, did you went through the Prisma analysis? If you use the bibliometric analysis, did you use the software of the bibliometric analysis?
Yes, I use some, but maybe I do not due to the time and some limitation. I do not represent it very clearly. I do not wrap it up very clearly in my presentation. But I have that in my paper. I have some citations and interpretation of such theories or cases. So I will work on that.
Secondly, because I would also request you as a reviewer, as an examiner of this, so you better have to revise your title as well.
Yes.
So it can reflect whether it's a case study, is a systematic review. So your readers, as a listener or audience, we can understand what is the nature of your study. Okay, because mostly I can see is the review informations all coming from the secondary data. Am I correct, right? So most of your information is coming from the secondary information.
Yes.
It's not the primary information.
Yeah, just a very limited part of it is.
It's mostly could say a review. It's a review information coming from the secondary sources.
Yes, most of it is.
Okay. What is your last recommendation? Because like you have a good recommendation, but nowadays for antitrust law, individual or every country has a different rules and regulations. They call it a data protection or antitrust law. So you have to study that one as well. Like maybe in China, you have a different kind of antitrust or data protection law. European, they have their own data protection law. And similarly, Malaysia, they follow their own data protections law. So when you are reviewing, compiling, so maybe you will find a lot of more study on this subject.
Yes.
It's connected with the law as well.
Yes.
Understand? So you have to clarify this some information in your study.
Yes, thank you for your suggestion.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Any other questions from the audience? Thank you.
No question, I think, but I just a kind reminder to all the participants that please keep in mind that time is 10 minutes for each presentation, and
we are in the limit of 15 minutes, so I hope so it won't be an issue.
Okay.
There is a request from one of the virtual presenter. He has some urgent matter to attend. So I asked all presenters here if they have a permission, we can allow him.
Maybe he can be the first online presenter.
Yes. So better we take one presentation from online. Dr. Frederick, I would request you to share your slides.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, sir.
As you have requested, you have an urgent matter as well. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, we audience agreed to give you permission to present first.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
You're
So,
welcome.
yeah, let me first share my screen. It's already shared, sir?
Yes, you can proceed.
Okay, thank you very much.
Make it large screen
Good morning.
and kindly proceed.
Okay, thank you. I can start?
Yes, please proceed.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank you for all the committee, all the participants today. I am very glad to participate in International Conference on Engineering, Management, and Science today, December 14, 2025. In this very good time, I will present my paper with the title Model of a Risk-Based Investment Decision Reflecting Shareholder Preferences in Development of Light Rail Transit in Indonesia. This is a journal review. My name is Frederick Pongtuluran from Interdisciplinary School of Management and Technology, Institut Teknologi 10 November Surabaya, Indonesia, with my editor, promoter, Professor Heraldi Astuti. Let me continue. As I said before, my name is Frederick Pongtuluran, and right now I am a PhD student in 10 November Institute of Technology. My research interest in project financing. For the title about the light rail transit in Indonesia. In Indonesia, right now, we have several transport. We have several lines for transport with a moderate system. Currently, we have 3 lines just finished developed and under construction in Sumatra, Jakarta. And what is a big problem? What main issue we face in Indonesia about the construction of LRT itself is about the financing, because we need a large amount of investment to realize all of this project. So this study aims to develop a model of investment decision threshold changes, including model for effects of economic variable changes of investing a secondary data analyzing, comparing investment plans with actual operation across certain variable such as demand, revenue, investment cost, and operational cost. And then next, the second stage involves both secondary data analysis and then primary data confirmation through interview and quantitative analysis to measure the probability of a threshold change in specific variable. So the outcome of this research is a novel model for investment decision making that incorporates shareholder risk extents, especially tailored for LRT projects in Indonesia. We are Indonesia for infrastructure public projects. We are faced major challenges due to financial limitation, and then complex government and significant and environmental uncertainties. So this common evaluation, investment evaluation, the economic benefits. And then I already project shows that effective PPP is party capacity to manage them. And then traditional finish and internal rate of return are not sufficient in highly uncertain environments, prompting the use of probabilistic simulation and multi-criterion methods like ACP, VUCAM, and MERCA. However, many studies still focus more on technical factors than the shareholder behavior. The study also proposed a risk-based investment decision model that combines sensitivity testing, probabilistic simulation, and stakeholder risk attitudes. Key variable that I said before, including demand, revenue, and both investment and operational costs are analyzed. By integrating quantitative result with behavioral insight using the analytical hierarchy process, the study offers a more inclusive and realistic framework for evaluating LRT investment. The model is intended to improve decision quality, align with the stakeholder perspective, and support more sustainability public transport development in Indonesia. So what the problem statement? Investment decision in infrastructure project based on several journals. We can see based on Husnan and Muhammad and also Suharto, they stated its investment decision refers to the process of evaluating whether an investment or project is financially and economically feasible. It involves assessing expected returns, risk, and the time value of our money. And based on the paper of Hari and Kandil, it shows that infrastructure projects such as light rail transit investment decisions are highly complex due to long project life cycles, high capital requirements, and numerous external uncertainties. In risk and uncertainty investment decision, based on Bock and Track and also Piantropi et al., it stated that risks represent measurable randomness associated with future outcomes, while uncertainty refers to unmeasurable or unpredictable outcomes due to incomplete information. In infrastructure investment, risk stems from fluctuating demands, cost overruns, change in economic condition, and political or regulatory factors. There are two methods I used in this research. First one is sensitivity analysis as a decision support tool, and then the second one is shareholder risk preferences. What is sensitivity analysis? Sensitivity analysis is a quantitative approach to evaluate how variations in key input parameters such as revenue, cost, or discount rates affect investment indicators like net present value and investment rate of return. It is based on Genovic, Sullivan et al. Research. It helps identify the most influential factors and the degree of project's vulnerability to uncertainty. Two main approaches are often used based on Lemon and Sullivan papers. One at a time procedure, where a single parameter is varied while others remain constant. And based on Burgonovo and Percoco papers, it showed that multi-parameter procedure where several variables change simultaneously to stimulate realistic condition. Shareholder risk preference. Usually shareholders' attitudes towards significantly influence investment decision, particularly in projects require long-term commitment, such as LRT development, according to modern portfolio theory. Investor itself can be categorized into three groups: risk averse, risk neutral, and risk seeking. Risk averse always pretend to avoid the risk. Risk neutral, I think, is also, and risk taking. Our investors is always seeking the risk, even it's high risk. This is based on a journal from Markowitz. Risk-averse investors prioritize security and with stable and lower risk. This study employs a qualitative case study approach focusing on the development of rail transit projects in Indonesia, especially for two projects, South Sumatra Light Rail Transit and Jakarta Light Rail Transit. Data I collected from two main sources: secondary data and the primary data. Where is the secondary data come from? It's include feasibility study, official reports, and performance document published by Directorate General of Railways, the Ministry of Transportation. It provide insight into investment plans and operation reality, such as demand, revenue, and cost structures. Primary data I obtained from semi-structured interviews and questionnaires distributed to key stakeholders, including government officials, project executor in a company, and financiers. And then the data collection process was complemented by field observation and document triangulation to ensure the validity. Variation of investment variable and economic change boundaries investment decision. So that the analysis of the South Sumatra and Jakarta Light Rail Transit project shows the shifts in investment parameter, especially demand, revenue, and cost significantly affect project feasibility and investment decision. Stakeholder from Minister of Transportation, it means government, and from the company, confirmed that the investment model used during the planning phase were too rigid, as they didn't accommodate variation of inflation, fare policy, or external shocks. And then capital expenditure, its model itself, CapEx, differences also emerged. In Jakarta LRT project, design modification and land acquisition issue caused a notable cost overrun. Maybe because this is the first project of our LRT project. And then qualitative interviews revealed that this issue stem not only from technical changes, but also from bureaucratic misalignment between project executors and regulators. Risk and uncertainty also analyzed qualitative to
Sorry
understand
for
how they...
interruption. You have 3 more minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And financial risk assessed from fluctuating revenue, fare, uncertainty, and exchange rate sensitivity in important components. And probability was not measured numerically, but interpreted through case comparison with policy maker. The synthesis finding result in conceptual model, thinking financing performance, stakeholders, and in both project investment outcome depends on how factor perceive and asset risk. All models using an interpretive AHP framework, the study structures decision hierarchies according to stakeholder priorities. Through qualitative analysis, it became evident that the element of risk preference is as crucial as financial feasibility. Projects operate more efficiently when risk perception is shared and transparency managed. So the conclusion is the study explore how change in investment parameters, risk perception, stakeholder preferences influence decision making in Indonesia LRT projects, focusing on two projects in Sumatra and Jakarta. By combining economic assessment with behavioral analysis, the research highlight how uncertainty and institutional perspectives shape project feasibility. Results shows that key variable. What is the key variable? Well, is demand, revenue, and operational cost are highly dynamic and strongly affect feasibility outcomes. This fluctuation require adaptive modeling and flexible financial strategies, including subsidies and adjustable tariff policies to sustain long-term viability. I think that's the end of my presentation, and I'm very thanks to my promoter, Christian Otomo, Dr. Christian Otomo, and co-promoter, Professor Hera Widestudi from Institut Teknologi 10 November, Surabaya. Thank you, sir. I'm give to committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for a presentation, Dr. Frederick. May I request the audience if they have any question for you? I do have several questions. Can you open your this one presentation slides again, slide number 1 to the title? May I ask you, because in your title you have a mention at the end a journal review. Is this the systematic review of your study?
Yeah, this is a still this is a journal review. What I mean that I
Hello?
research. Yeah, hello, hello. Can you hear, sir? Hello, hello.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Am I audible to you?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello?
Yes, hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Everybody can
hello.
hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can hear you, but I think he's not hearing you at the venue. Maybe there is an issue.
No, okay.
Actually,
I have a
he's
question.
asking. Yeah, please ask
Doctor,
your
I'm
question.
repeating my question. And your title, you have a mention a journal review. Is this your systematic review paper?
Yeah. What can I say? My journal review research. The beginning of my research, and then the first one I find I looking for a journal, more than 60 journal refers to my research, and then from all the journal, I review all the journal related to my research, and I make this journal review.
Doctor, what I find a little bit contradictions, because when you go to the methodology slides,
Yeah.
can you go to your methodology slides, please? Because in your methodology slides, you have a mention you are using the interviews, qualitative data, even a distribution of the questionnaire. So how come this one becoming a systematic or the general review? That's my question. And secondly, if you are interviewing the people or the experts, how many people you have interviewed, what was your approach? So these are the few questions which you did not answer in your methodology. Can you go to your methodology slides, please?
Methodology. This one?
Methods. Yes. And your
Yeah.
methodology slides, like you have been mentioning, you are collecting the data through the secondary sources, which is very reasonable. As per the literature review or systematic review, you are correct. But at the next statement, you do mention you are collecting the data through interview and also distributing a questionnaires. So what kind of
Yeah.
a questionnaires you have distributed? Is this the quantitative analysis?
Qualitative analysis, yeah.
Is a quantitative.
Qualitative analysis.
So in the qualitative analysis, how many questionnaires you have distributed?
Sorry, this is like what can I say? This is the beginning from my research. I just this is my plan. Yeah, this is my plan to collect data from the interviewers,
So this
from
is
the
your
shareholders. Yeah.
so this is your future plan, not and currently you have a done.
Yes, right.
So because then also you have to revise your title actually, and your title you are mentioning general review. Most preferable word is either systematic review, or you are presenting your conceptual model. If you are presenting your conceptual model, then you can discuss, okay, this is your future plan. But then
Okay.
if you are doing your literature review, then
Yeah.
in the methodology there are a huge contradictions. So I would request you to kindly check or rephrase your methodology as well.
Okay.
Okay. And
Okay. Thank you.
when we coming to your problem statement, since you are conducting your study in 2025, or now we are entering to 26, so most of your problem statement you are referring to very old. They are
Yeah.
about 20 years old, 2002, 2004. So LRT, which is subjected to one of the mega trillions of IDR project in Indonesia. So how you are relying 2002 data by making a decision in 2026?
Yeah. The projects, there are several projects still under construction, and we still face the problem about the
No, my
financing.
question is your problem
So
statement, your
think-
citation and reference are very old. So I, as a reviewers, will be requesting to you to kindly come up with a new problem statement which is relevant to the LRT project. Secondly, it should not be more older than the past 5 years, relevant to your study. The problem
Yeah.
statement, citation and reference are very old.
Yeah, I think what affairs now in Indonesia about the financing, the problem is still on the same. Yeah, and from this is my paper. Well, the result I think we can use to the next the same project.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Chef, for your.
Thank you.
I think it's enough.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, so please next. Doctor, you are muted.
Comments, feedback, comments.
There's a feedback.
Okay, say. Thank you. I finished.
Yeah, you are finished. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you
now
very
I
much.
would be
Yeah.
requesting to our next presenter, Dr. Marznina Binti Jabbar, and she will be presenting Enhancing Crime Investigations, Flow Efficiency and Enforcement. This also has the literature-based study. Is the Diana. So you are after her. What is your name, sir? You are listener. What is your name?
We are from Texas, Malaysia. We
No.
are here talk about this one.
This one, please sign.
Sorry, it's me. I have the collection here. Yeah,
So the all coming, right?
6 of us coming here. We don't need this one.
Name I don't have.
This one also.
This one. They all listen. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, it is complete, I think.
Okay.
They sign.
Okay.
Doctor, we can't hear the presenter. Shireen Muhammad is not audible to the online participant.
Hello?
Hello? Okay,
Yes, now it's okay.
okay, thank you. Sorry about that. Okay,
Yeah.
I think I have to restart. Okay, my name is
Yes,
Shirin
please.
Ahmad. Someone need to mute. Okay. Okay, my name is Shirin Muhammad, and I'm on behalf of my team presenting our paper entitled Integrated Criminal Investigation Data Management Model in Enhancing Crime Investigation Through Structured Data Integration. And we are all from a new university in Malaysia, Enforcement Leadership and Management University Ilmu in Nilai. This is the content of my presentation today. So, as we know, in the criminal investigation, the important of digital footprint in the investigation operation is very important. Okay, so now in the contemporary crime investigations, the crime investigators are working on a very rich data environment, but with a system poor environment. Okay, where digital footprints are dispersed across multiple disconnected platforms managed by different units, vendors, and jurisdiction. So there are many stakeholders in this process, namely law enforcement agency, prosecution department, defense lawyers, forensic lab department, judiciary, correctional system, laws and rules. Okay, so when we talk about footprints, there are many categories of footprint, namely passive digital footprint like cookies, browsing, shopping history, and with active digital footprint, we have social media posts, online publication, and deliberate sharing. So when we talk about criminal, we actually relate the footprint with the negative digital footprint like controversial posts, negative reviews, and many more. Okay, not to say that we need to only focus on the digital footprints per se, but also all related investigative data in the organization. So this fragmented ecosystem gives rise to several critical challenges, including data fragmentation, siloed information system, limited interoperability in terms of data exchange and standardization, and inefficient investigative workflows. So based on that, we derive three research objectives. The first one is to examine existing data management models and frameworks applied within policing and criminal investigation contexts. And then we want to identify limitations and research gaps in this model and to propose a conceptual integrated criminal investigation data management model or ICIDMM that address the identified gaps. And the methodology for this research is a comparative literature review that was conducted to evaluate the existing models and frameworks based on performance criteria, namely architecture, workflow integration, interoperability, scalability, and legal compliance. Okay, in architecture, we try to answer on how each model structures data, evidence, actors, and processes while in the workflow integration, we want to find where integration fails and where optimization is needed. And in the interoperability, we want to examine how well systems communicate, share data, and use common standards. In scalability, we want to examine whether existing models can support growing data volumes. And finally, in legal compliance, we want to analyze how well models incorporate legal constructs. So after we've done comparative literature review, we synthesize our findings in performance metrics, which inform the justification for proposing a new conceptual model to improve criminal investigation workflow. So these are the results of the literature reviews. Okay, so we have 4 models and we have in total 6 model to framework. We have digital forensic workflow model, forensic data management model, big data forensic identification model, security digital evidence management framework, database forensic meta model, and finally framework of data-driven policy. Okay, so based on the 5 criteria, we have found some issues like in the architecture evaluation. Recent study emphasized the need for modular layered architectures in forensic and policing system. Hosman and Sunday highlight workflow-centric architecture in digital forensic, but not limited integration with broader policing system. Syropoulos further stress secure and compliant architectures for digital evidence storage and integrity. So these works justify architectural assessment as a key comparison dimension. As for the workflow integration, recent literatures or recent models and frameworks shows workflow fragmentation remains a universal challenge, because in William and Wood document how chain of custody error occurs when workflow cross multiple systems. In Common, they demonstrate workflow breakdowns in missing person investigation due to fragmented data system. So comparing workflows across model reveals where integration fails and where optimization is needed. In interoperability criteria, Afzal and Panagotopoulos argue that policing organizations struggle with siloed and incompatible data system. McGrew and Bird show interoperability challenges in large-scale missing person identification, where data must come from heterogeneous sources. Therefore, interoperability becomes a critical criterion in the comparative review. In terms of scalability, models and frameworks show scalability in an urgent concern, like in McGrew and Bird, proposed data science-driven approaches to manage scale in forensic investigation. Hosman and Sunday note that current workflow model often fail when applied to big data environment. So scalability assessment reveals whether existing models can support modern investigative demand. And finally, from the perspective of legality and compliance, any evaluation must examine how well models incorporate legal constraints such as data protection, digital evidence integrity, evidential standards for the court. Syropoulos highlight how many forensic systems still lack compliance safeguards such as audit trails and tamper evidence storage. So by comparing models using legal criteria, the study identified frameworks that meet evidential requirements and those that don't. Okay, based on these comparative metrics, we have come up with gap analysis. Number 1, there are fragmented data system missing end-to-end workflow support and domain-specific limitations. and lack of interoperability and data integration standards, limited use of responsive AI, ethical governance and transparency, and operational inconsistencies and skill deficits. Hence, we propose ICIDMM in 6-layer model. So this model operate as a closed-loop policing ecosystem to ensure the complete flow from data acquisition to organizational learning. So we go by layer. In acquisition, in the first layer, we try to the model suggests us to acquire forensic data, operational reports, and sensors from IoT and from the relevant agencies. And then in the second layer of integration, we must do data fusion, data harmonization, and metadata standards so that the data can be communicated between each other regardless of their domain and location. And for the layer number the next layer is for the analysis, where we need to have intelligence analysis. Like in AI, we need to use machine language models. And why not? It is because we want to find crime patterns and also to predict crime. And then layer number 4 is for us to make the decision on how the enforcement department want to deploy their strategies to prioritize their resources and to do strategic direction. And in layer number 6, we do model recalibration, learning loops, and quality control. So finally, in layer number 5 is we do documentation, where we log case, we have evidence chains and judicial files. Okay, so in conclusion, we expect the model to integrate isolated system into a unified investigative workflows, to standardize data exchange across investigative domain, to embed explainability, accountability, and to simplify workflows and supports organization learning. Based on the expected value and contribution of each layer, map to the information system quality of efficiency, accuracy, transparency, collaboration, and data-driven decision. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you. This is one of the good systematic literature review.
It's just as literature review, just at the beginning phase.
But at the end, I see this model is your conceptual model, which you are presenting, right?
Yes,
So
conceptual.
it's a conceptual model. So literature review conceptual model supported with the literature review.
Yes.
It's a very excellent presentation and excellent work.
Thank you very much.
You have done. So any question for this presentation, I would like to ask the audience as well. No question? I have just a simple question. And this literature review, have you specified any specific crime, or this is just for all sort of the crimes? Like this model is applicable to certain specific crime or all crimes?
In general.
Huh?
In general, all
general.
crime. Yes.
In general. Okay, that's good. So this model is already implemented in the Malaysia context?
You mean the conceptual model?
Yes.
Yes, but not in the integrated way.
Not the integrated way.
So we are proposing the integrated solution so that we can cover the end-to-end process from the data acquisition until how the organization can learn from the data, can learn back from the data.
And the last question, because you have presented 6 model, and you reviewed them very nicely, all of them. Those models, any of the models been supported with the Malaysian context? Because because you have just mentioned single reference. So most of them foreigners. I just wanted to clarify whether there is.
Okay. Right
Because
now,
the previous 6 model,
yeah.
any of these models is supported from the literature from Malaysia?
As far as we know, no. But I would like to take your comment as I think improvement.
Thank you, ma'am.
We can add, and then we can synchronize
Yeah,
back to
doctor,
our
this is the
concept
same
model.
question I
Inshallah.
was going to
because
ask,
you have
know?
come up very, I mean, what do you call this? A very critical gap. Okay, that's why I understand the gap which you have come out, and the 6th model which you have defined, supported with the literature review. Either any of this model been previously discussed
Not
in the
in
Malaysian
Malaysia.
context? Not in
Not in
Malaysia.
Malaysia, but I would like to add, based on your comment, so that it will be more localized.
Yes, yeah.
Inshallah.
Thank
you for your comment.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Any other question, anyone? Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
so
We are
the
going
same
for the next
question I was
presentation.
going to ask, yeah.
Dr. Diana, she will be presenting the next presentation, please. Sorry? Not Dr. Yash.
Yeah, please tell us the paper ID. That's 962.
Sorry?
962, the paper ID, right? 962.
Yes, Diana 962, correct.
Okay.
Please proceed.
I can start?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can hear
start.
me? Okay. First of all, very good morning to all of you. It's such a pleasure to be here to share about my research. I'm actually currently doing my PhD. I'm not a doctor yet, but I am currently doing my research on in the area of marketing. And my research is currently supervised by Associate Professor Nasrin Khan and Associate Professor Tan Bui Chen. We are from the Multimedia University, Cyberjaya, Malaysia. My background, well, I have taught marketing for about 10 years now. I've taught at Sunway University, and I've also taught at several universities, private universities in Malaysia. So it's really a privilege for me to share my research here on factors influencing online purchasing behavior of secondhand products among Gen Z consumers in Malaysia. So I just want to introduce a bit about what my study is about, just the context here. So we are talking about secondhand market, and it's out there at the moment. It's out there, but it's not really documented. There's still lack of evidence. So we're looking at online secondhand consumption specifically. So we want to study how secondhand consumption can have an impact on the environment. So we're looking at positive environmental impact because it's a trend now, and we're also looking at Gen Z consumers specifically in Malaysia, very lacking in research. So we want to look into it. We want to study it. What else is there? What else is true about intention of purchasing behavior in the context of online secondhand products, because they are consuming secondhand products online. They are out there. We have observed their behavior. They are concerned. They have concerns about the environment. They want to know what else can we do about it. So we are here because due to the very limited research in this context, we want to help marketers in Malaysia specifically how we can encourage Gen Z consumers, these young people here, to practice conscious consumption. So yeah, we are looking at Malaysian Gen Z buying, purchasing secondhand products online. So the issue here is that we look at theoretical and practical issue. So many studies on that apply the theory of planned behavior. Some of you may have heard the theory of planned behavior. It's overly studied. So we want to look at other. We want to address the gap of other theories such as cognitive, affective, conative, as well as the OSSM motivation theory. So we're looking at motivations, thinking, influencing emotion, feeling how you feel, how Gen Z feel, and how they behave, meaning how they would may buy secondhand products online. So there's a practical gap here in terms of how we can help marketers. Since we want to encourage marketers, we want to support them. So we want to come out with actionable strategies for them, design a framework specifically designed for Gen Z consumers to understand Gen Z, their behaviors, as well as new strategies for marketers in Malaysia's expanding online secondhand market here. So what we did here is a review of literature, sort of like a matrix. So we look at the theories that I've done, so many theories, so many studies on Gen Z, but internationally, in the international context. But when you narrow down to Gen Z in Malaysia, it gets limited. It's very scarce. So we're looking at we want to contribute more to Gen Z studies in terms of sustainable consumption. So from here, we want to come out with, we want to suggest this framework here based on our review. So we're looking at CAC meaning cognitive, motivation, and then feeling, affective or emotion, a positive emotion, which we studied are quite related to can influence Gen Z. They are positive. They are a generation that may experience awe, and it could moderate the attitude. It could moderate the relationship between motivation as well as intention to purchase secondhand products online. So we look at mediating effect of attitude as well, how they feel about buying secondhand products online. So it's very specific. We're looking at Gen Z, all right, because they are the driving force of secondhand consumption online. So we are looking at CAC. We also look at OSSM theory as well. So these are all established theories, right? But they are very limited. There are not much studies are looking into these theories here, these two theories here. So we propose this conceptual study and looking at Gen Z purchasing behavior, and hopefully we'll be able to come up with suggestions in terms of practical, actionable strategies for marketers in Malaysia, how they can accommodate, how can they encourage Gen Z to buy secondhand products in Malaysia, at the same time impact on the environment as well. Am I winning time?
You are on the time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
all. Thank you so much. Please do
thank-
not be harsh. I'm a PhD student. Yeah. Right. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. And once again, I will go to the audience if they have any question for this conceptual model.
Can I have just probably a remark? It was a very interesting topic. Just the part you said you focus on Z generation. Any rationale for this? Because your topic is buying secondhand stuff.
Yes.
We know this generation, they are very picky, even with buying firsthand,
Correct.
right?
That's
But in buying secondhand online, what do you think?
They have a concern for the environment. They do have that. They do have that concern, and so we link it to that concern, environmental concern, to buy secondhand products. If you look at it, it is circular. There's some circular. It's part of the circular economy, right? So it's
Normally, previous generations we like to buy secondhand, but new generations they always like, even when they have an iPhone, after 2-3 years they want to change it. So they are not into buying second. That was my question. It was a very interesting. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much.
Related to the question,
Yeah.
because I give an opportunity first to the audience. So can you open your slides back, please? since you are talking about the Gen Z concerns with the environment, so environment should be one of your variable then.
Like environmental concern.
Because you have to prove to us that Gen Z is more interesting or they are more concerning to the environment. So by proving this one, you add the environment to your variables. Are you supporting such evidence?
Yes.
Are you supporting such evidence that the Gen Z is more concerning to the environment? That's why they are going for the second-hand purchasing. So add the environment to your conceptual model. This is one of the suggestion if you are supporting or if the literature is supporting. Secondly, because you have attended your review, you have to a bit change your title as well to come up with a concept, like you have to add the word, either this is a conceptual paper or a systematic literature review. If you come up with a systematic literature review, kindly define your methodology as well. And on the thirdly, because in the literature, do you have any evidence, quantitative data that what percentage of the Gen Z are interesting or they are purchasing the second-hand product? Like we have, as the doctor mentioned, that the Gen Z are more concerning to go buy the new product rather than they are. But if you have evidential data from the literature review, you should have a strong arguments that based on the literature, we see that much percentage of the Gen Z are, they are interesting to buy the second-hand product. So that more support your conceptual model. This is number 2, adding the environment this one. Your conceptual model, you are mentioning economic motivation. Could be economic constraint. I would go, or anyone go to the buying second-hand product. It should be because of the economic constraint, not the economic motivation.
We look at it. Definition.
I mean, logically, if I'm economically constructed, I will go to purchase the second-hand product. I mean, so I have a limited resources to purchase a new item. I have economical constraints in. So Gen Z, if they will go to buy a second-hand product, my argument, I could be wrong as well. So there could be the variable is the economic constraint. They have economic problem rather than motivation. This you can discuss, you can check this variable as well, because all of your 3 variable is the economic motivations, economic convince, and ideological motivation. The others 2 you might have attend your literature review, but for the first one, I'm suggesting either you check or compare with the economic constraints. And how about their behavior? When they purchase the second-hand product, attitude is the one thing. What is their behavior? Because you are removing.
Results? Oh, it's on the process. Yeah,
It's
exactly. You should wait for the result. So my suggestion is to have a good interview or questionnaire as your qualitative part. You can prepare a set of good questionnaire and interview, asking them about their perception, how they feel, what is their motivation behind this. And that the answer to these questions will tell us whether this generation are into buying secondhand or other.
Because since she is fixing her conceptual model and presenting the conceptual model, and today's the purpose of presentation of conceptual model is also to ask feedback from the audience that whether this conceptual model will work or not. Because you have studied the literature review, you have better idea, but based on our experience, okay, one, as I mentioned, economic constraint could be one of the, and as you mentioned, you give us a reason that they are more, Generation Z are more the environmental friendly. So at the environmental, one of your factors, so you can come up with the evidence that can support. And then the most important things either is attitude or behavior. Why the theory of planned behavior been
Friendly, but not economically friendly. Look at their parents, pocket.
Gen Z is even not drinking the glass water. They will be preferring to go bottles and bottles and bottles. Trust me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So thank you for the presentation. And there's a few remarks from us. I hope so you will look onto it. And now we are going to the next presenter, Aligning IT Project Selection. The title is, do we have a Muhammad Ghazali? Oh, sorry. You are the next one. If you have a charge problem, you can present from here. Are you the PhD candidate? Master? Bachelor.
Is it 966 or 978?
Is 966.
Okay.
Coming live. Okay. You are clear to proceed.
Greetings to everyone in the conference floor. My name is Muhammad Ghazali, and I'm going to present the unenhanced adaptive prediction model of university program viability and alignment with industry need. The viability would mean whether a university cost is sustainable or profitable. The alignment is whether the skill taught in that course match what employee currently need in the job market. Next. So this is my agenda. So my biography. I am a bachelor in electrical engineering technology. So my experience is in software development, and I interested in industrial automation, computer vision AI, and predictive modeling AI. So for extract, first is the problem statement. The current issue with Malaysian higher education institution, we struggle to adapt program needs quickly to meet the dynamic industry demands. As current retrospective method, which is case study, will remain too slow. Next is objective of this study. This objective focus on adaptive predictive mixed method model that combine two approaches, which is quantitative, which are data driven, including the data like stock market, industry indicator, and graduate employability. And next is qualitative, which is the expert driven, which is the data is checked and refined to interview academic and policymaker. Okay, the third is methodology. Methodology, we use the qualitative expert-driven refinement for academic, policymaker, industry expert. And lastly, the goal for this research is making a system that is forward-looking to improve the graduate employability. Okay, next, introduction. So Malaysia Higher Education Institute face misalignment between academic offering, which is caused by significant skill gap and graduate unemployment. So this study proposed adaptive predictive model, which enable university to plan curriculum development, resource allocation, and program innovation. So next is problem statement. The declining employability. The graduate employability declined to 89.8%, down to 90.2% in 2022, which is on the side Muhammad Abdul Qadir. And then the skill mismatch, employee cannot find the graduate with the right skill, and lack of integration and planning constraint institutions struggle to align curriculum development with future workforce needs. So this is my literature review or gap analysis. So I concluded like this. From Sen to Velautam and Senanayake, the BI-LSTM model for Japan, we focus 522K job listing with 98.71% accuracy. And then handling volatility Navipo engine, which compare LSTM against traditional tree-based model and ARIMA. They found LSTM consistently yield the lowest error rate. And qualitative decision by Ko Cheng and highlight LSTM flexibility by integrating sentiment analysis. And lastly, educational context. ARIA validated this specifically within the educational sector with CNN plus LSTM model, which received 98.45 accuracy. And to include all of this, the overall motivation for study conclude that qualitative evidence confirm LSTM superior accuracy and adaptability to complex volatile data and ability to capture long-term sequential pattern, strongly supporting its application for institutional level academic program variability forecasting. So this is my proposed model. I call it EduPredict. So the EduPredict, first we got the industry demand and stock market, which we will predict with LSTM, and then we add that with graduate employability together, and we made the scoring predicted sector demand, and then the weightage calculation, which will focus variable sector for academic development. So this is how we get the weightage. Industry demand, we put weight X, stock market we put weight Y, and graduate employability we put weight Z. So the data source is for industry demand is telecom critical skill list, and the DOSM job vacancy report. For stock market is Bursa Malaysia sector in this, and FDI inflow. For graduate employability is Malaysia Higher Education, SKPG thesis study, and university placement records. So next is this is our calculation for sector variability score. So we add together the weight and multiply it with the sector variability, which we will get through the qualitative component, interview with stakeholder such as academic, policymaker, and industry expert. So the result as this study is conceptual in nature and aim to develop a predictive model. The result and finding discussed herein are based on projected model performance and expected outcome. So the projected model outcome is market variability score, forecasted demand, and cost comparison outputs. Next, so this is how the data will look like, projected model outcome, sector variability score. So we will put the score on the sector, which will get high variability, moderate variability, low variability, or not variable. So next is discussion, enhanced decision making. The weightage model improve granularity, supporting evidence-based curriculum planning, holistic validation, combine quantitative accuracy check with qualitative stakeholder feedback for robustness, strategic impact, offer a dynamic AI-driven mechanism to bridge the gap between academic offering and labor market realities, and practical application serve as decision support tool for Malaysian policy maker as and university administrators. So in conclusion, educative model contribute towards determining the ability of an industry sector for university program development. Which sector should be prioritized based on future demand and economic sustainability, which existing program may require additional restructuring, whether a sector academic pathway align with the real and future job market needs, and a higher SVS mean more viable, future ready and sustainable sector. So lastly is acknowledgement. I would like to take this moment to thank Enforcement Leadership Management University for their generous support in covering the conference fee. And also I would like to thank the distinguished co-author from University of Malaya and University of Surrey. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent work. Very good. I asked a question from the audience. Any question for this presentation? Thank you. You have done the job. Now we are going ahead.
You're muted, doctor.
This one, right?
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to present our paper titled Align IT Project Selection with Organization Strategic Goal. This is a review of the journal. Allow me to introduce the contributor. My name is Sri Hartanto. I'm the presenter today, and we also have Mr. Cristiano Tomo, PhD, and also Mr. Ahmad Klason, PhD. We are from the 10 November Institute of Technology, Surabaya. And yeah. Currently, I'm pursuing a doctorate in technology management in the same university. I hold a master degree in financial management and also civil engineering. I have 12 plus years in capital market regulatory organization. I serve as corporate strategic planning and also project management as well. The topics comes from the real case in the company, doctor, that the IT project in our company face difficulties regarding the timeline implementation. So that's why I choose this topic to know how to select the IT project that impact to our organization achievement. Let's move to the research summary. I think IT has a critical role to achieve organizational strategic, the implementation through to the project execution. As we know that project classified into three categories: emergency, operational, and also strategic. Emergency is urgent needed, while operational is for the day-to-day business operational, and also strategic for the long-term organization achievement. Although there were improvement in project selection practices, I think IT project failure rates remain high. And the common challenge for the project implementations divided into three. Number one is implementation gap, and then organizational politics, and then also resource conflict. The objective of this paper is to propose an approach for IT project selection that emphasizes stakeholder engagement. We studied 35 previous literature, including 11 journal indexed in Scopus, Key 1 and Key 2, and then to propose a negotiation-based approach for choosing the right project to make organization goals achievement. Now we move on to the introduction. IT projects makes organization more efficient and also growth in terms of the business. The management of IT project quite complex because we are facing the new process and also the new technology. The literature informed that a project delay up to 45%. So that's why the strategic project needs to be or to do the pre-investment phase, not just the financial strategic and also the organizational criteria. We also see that the organization should considering the internal structure from the top management and also the user. They are very critical to make the project implementation success. Otherwise, the factors that like the scope negotiation, conflict, and also unclear task allocation should be considering as the factor that make the IT implementation delay. And then we go to the problem statement. Otherwise, I'm sorry, although the project selection already considering the strategic approach and then previous literature is also integrated with the internal procedural, I think however, the project selection remains an open area for further research. And then the study aims to identify approach for prioritizing strategic IT project through stakeholder engagement. We go to the methodology that we are use. We are using three groups of methodology. Number one, literature review. As we can see on the screen, there are some steps for searching the database and then remove duplicate and so on, so on. And then we found 35 literature that we analyze using the Excel, and then we provide the time stories about the literature, and then we tabulate cross tabulation literature review using the project classification. And then we also use the research method and also data source to overview previous research distribution. And then we go to the result regarding the time histories. As we can see, at the first stage, projects due for the operational and also emergency purposes. Meanwhile, nowadays they shift to the strategic to help organization reach their goal. And then we also do the cross tabulation from previous literature. We analyze typical problem that project common face, and also we use financial aspect consideration that the organization most use to analyze overview of the previous research. We can see in the slide that grids number 2, 5, and also 6 under explore area. Meanwhile, number 1, 3, and 4, they are already explored more than number 2, 5, and also 6. And then we use methodology research and also data source. We can see in the qualitative methods and secondary data source mostly used in literature. Meanwhile, qualitative and primary data approach remains limited. In previous explanation shows that project failure rates remain high. So at the same time, qualitative methods provide stakeholder insight for selecting a project that align with corporate objective. And then let me sum up the main point of the conclusion. Starting with reviewing 35 literature, including 11 Scopus, Key 1 and Key 2. And then we do the analysis, use the timeline and also cross tabulation, and then we use the topic mapping. Although IT project selection shifted to strategic for achieving organizational objective, however, stakeholder involvement remains limited. In the future research, stakeholder involvement and negotiation methods should be explored as mechanism to improve the selection of strategic project that effectively support organization goal. That's all for this slide. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Any question for this presentation? You have presented yourself.
Yes, Doctor, the same question. I think this is also a review, a systematic review study, and the researchers have searched quite enough studies, articles from journals and through different databases, but I don't see that some for the literature review studies, for the systematic literature review studies, you must use specific tools, specific procedures to collect the relevant literature. And in this regard, the Boolean operators are very much important in every literature review study, where you can use such Boolean operators to search the relevant literature. I don't see such things in your methodology. That how did you define the scope of your search, and how did you use what different kind of keywords, and together with the Boolean operators that you used for searching the relevant literature?
Yes, doctor. Currently, I use like the CHIMU model, like the context intervention mechanism and also outcome. In my slide, I use the question that applied in EBSCO, Web Science, Scopus, and Academic Journal, using the question, how will the implementation of information technology project selection improve the project performance? And then the literature shown 512 literature, and then the duplicate remove, and also screening manually.
Oh, sorry to stop you. This is not my question. My question is, how did you define your searching literature? I mean, the scope of your search. What type of keywords did you use for searching the literature, and whether you have used the Boolean operators for searching the literature or not?
You didn't use the Boolean operator, but you were limited to your questionnaire. Because some research, some literature review, you can have with your keywords. But on the other side, sometimes you have your very specific questions, because you are searching for a specific question answer. So in your presentation, which I can see, you are specific to your two questions, which you are finding the answer. So he was Dr. Shakir. In his presentation and his research, he was limited to the two research questions. He was looking for answers. So he doesn't require to have keywords.
Okay. Yes, because I think this is very important for the researchers, especially the new researchers, scholars, that they need to know these things, how to search the relevant literature in different databases such as Web of Science and Scopus. And if a researcher know these things, it will be more efficient with the result and with the time management, and will spend less time to extract more data from the databases.
Yeah, unless we see the full paper, but based on his presentation, he is limited to the two research question. After going through the thorough, this one, the Prisma, he is limited to 35 articles, which he finds more relevant to his study. Am I correct, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, that's a good way to do. You have done a good research. For me, it's fine. Okay, unless we see the full paper and then go through what the other things. But yeah, it's good work.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Anyone else has the questions? Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
So I think the offline, in-person are done, and now we are coming toward the online. Two participants remaining. One is the paper ID 951. The paper title is Multimodal Finance Agent for Advanced Financial Analytics and Decision Support, to be presented by Fahman Saeed. Are you available? Fahman Saeed, 951. The paper ID 951, I think, is not available on the screen. So I will move to the next one. And the next presenter is the paper ID 959. The paper title is SDG Adaptation, Policies and Performance in the Textile, Apparel and Luxury Goods Industry, to be presented by Evangenia. Are you available? I don't see it on the screen. I think it's also absent. Let me check one more, the remaining. The other ID is the last one, the online participant. Among the online participants is the last paper ID 987. And the paper title is Insect Infecting Store Food Products to be presented by Rekia Sharif. Rekia Sharif. I don't think so. It's also absent. So we can conclude the session, I think, Doctor.
Yes, from our end, all participants from the physical room, they have presented and they have a very good presentation, very knowledgeable presentation. They have done a very good work, and I appreciate all the presenters. They have presented their research work through the physical rooms here. And now we can proceed with the certificate distribution ceremonies. And we do have listeners as well. We also welcome them. So no more virtual presentation. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's all done. One participant already presented his paper, Frederick, I think.
Yes.
And the others are absent. Maybe they already sent their video, pre-recorded video, and our team will upload those videos to the YouTube channel. And later in the chat box, I'm sharing all the information regarding the YouTube channel and our contact information. You can check it in the chat box. Yeah, so we can proceed to the distribution ceremony, or just you can let me having my concluding remarks, and you can also announce the best presenter from the in-person participants, and then we can, after that, we can proceed to the distribution ceremony. Yeah. So just wait for a while, please. Okay, so I hope that all the participants, online and in-person participants, enjoyed today's conference. It was really great experience with all of you. Thank you so much for participating in this hybrid session or conference. All the presenter is I saw having good research ideas. It put their efforts for the best. All the papers is I saw in the presentation form. The data was supported by good methods in theoretical framework literature and almost achievable objectives, but still, as Dr. Mushtaq Ahmad provided his valuable suggestions, you can revise your papers in light of all those suggestions. And after that, if you want to publish it, you can send it to our team, and we will having a discussion, send you the guidelines how to do the submission. And here is the YouTube channel as well. I'm sharing some of the information. Yeah, here first I need to share the contact information of our team. You here in the chat box, you can check the chat box I'm sending to all. This is the email you can contact for general queries, question, and other things. And I'm also sharing my WhatsApp for future corresponding. If you have any question regarding the paper publication or other things, you can add this number. This is a WhatsApp number, very important number. You can add this, and will be available to guide you regarding your paper publication. 3849. So it is +60113793796389. This is the WhatsApp number. You need to add this WhatsApp number. Is very much important for your publication. If you have questions regarding publication, if you want to publish your paper in the peer-reviewed journal, we can help you. You need to add this number. Okay, so that's about the number. I also shared the IIRP contact email, and you can also ask that. And yeah, that's all from my side. I wanted to share with you. And now we can proceed to the distribution ceremony. Doctor, please, we need some good pictures. So yeah.
Can I ask, because if the audience wanted to have a question related to the publications, so they can ask you before we proceed and wind up the session. So anyone has a question where your paper will be published unless it's clarified to you, or because conference proceeding will be sent to them online, right?
Yeah, through email.
Okay, and then their prospective co-author certificate will be also sent to them online, e-copy.
To the email, yeah.
Okay, any question where their paper will be published, any double-blind pre-review, Scopus or wherever, so any information you wanted to disclose?
There are different options. They already choose. There is one option to publish the paper in international peer review journal. That's a Google Scholar. And other
Okay.
option is the Scopus. And still, if they didn't choose those options, they can still contact us and we will guide them how to do that and what to choose according to their budget.
So all the participants are clear about your publication and the proceedings. Okay. Okay, thank you. Now I will call upon for the having our certifications.
And one thing more, can you please announce the best presenter? And we may need some good pictures, please. Hello, Dr. Mushtaq Ahmad. Can you please ask all the listener, they wanted to have a group discussion in this session. If they still want to participate, please. Hello?
I will request.
Hello?
Dr. Hari. Yes. This one gives everything. Yes. Now we are. Next, our request, Daimin. Dr. It's already sent you a notice. Is that one? Yeah. Is that why? He is among the excellent. We had nothing. Why? Dr. Noor, Tawani, that is here, I think. Police? Exactly. Why? I am one. Yeah. Where did you go? That is the mom. M. Roy. Actually, Dr. Loli. That's all for the certification. Now I would like to request we have our group picture, please. There is an accident in Ventures. I didn't mention, but yeah, it is back. Our team will send in the top copy of the accident certification. I will bring the three chairs. Yes. Doctor. We are told we can stand. Listen. Please stand.
Please.
After this, we have a lunch arrangement as well. Number one, downstairs. Okay. Thank you. So now we will be wind up and going for lunch.
We discuss first or?
You want to discuss?
Yes. 6 of us.
Okay. Okay.
Lunch can with.
Sorry?
Lunch can with.
Okay. Are you the editor of the journal?
In my campus. Like my university.
So this is your university journal?
Yes.
Journal of Religious Study?
Yes. Scopus.
You are the editor.
And the editor.
You are editor. Mashallah.
Your name is?
Dr. Ahmed.
Dr. Ahmed. Ahmed Mustafa. You names.
Okay.
You know, my student,
Is there any question? We are going to you will
Online.
For the proceeding book, we have ISBN number. They will send you by tomorrow. Possible today or Monday by tomorrow. All the participants will receive the soft copy of the proceeding book. Okay, your co-author will be receiving these certificates, and for the publication, they suppose if because they have your full paper.
I see. Yes. It will take a few months.
So you can request with them full paper either you want it publish in as well as my side journal, Malaysia approved journal, which will also help you in. Yes, or you want to go for
Okay.
okay.
Thank you so much.
Doctor, the listener group want to discuss something.
Yes, we are on it.
Okay, good.
You wanted to be part of the discussion?
No, you just continue, please.
Okay.
Okay, doctor, so they are disconnected and we also need to leave. Okay, thank you so much for joining this session. Dr. Frederick, can you hear me? Hello? Hello?